So, how many of y'all have heard about Samantha Lux? Maybe some. I did a video about her on my channel a while back. I'd never heard of her despite being almost 400,000 subscriber channel. My first impression was like, is this a makeup channel kind of thing? No. She's out there advocating for trans rights, and it's awesome to see not like a channel that size, which isn't, I guess, politically centric, but still talks about trans stuff. I mean, she's trans herself, so it's topical and it's a subject that she knows about. So good on her. Now, here's the thing: not everyone is so excited. Samantha Lux is not a woman. 118,000 views from Vanessa Voki Photography. God damn. Now look. I already contributed to the dislike ratio. Alright. Well, Samantha Lux identifies as a woman. So, at least last I heard. So, funnily enough, yeah. Vanessa, I think you're wrong. I'm afraid that your assertion that Samantha Lux is not a woman might be incorrect. But hey, I've got an open mind. Let's see what she's got to say. I'm sure it won't be filled with vitriolic anti-science TERF hate. Let's find out.
My name is Vanessa Voki. I'm a photographer, an artist, and a sewist from Canada. And today I'm going to be making a video reacting to Samantha Lux. Samantha is a male to female transgender adult who I think is from the States. And he made a couple different videos about bottom surgery. So I'm going to be kind of going over his assumptions and his experience of bottom surgery and some of the facts.
Videos like this, talking about surgeries, talking about
God damn, mix your stupid audio for Christ's sake.
hormones, talking about literally anything was so helpful to me because growing up I never really saw any actual trans people. I just saw the people on Jerry Springer.
Oh yeah, you mean like this?
So good to meet you. It's kind of nervous on national TV, I know, but like I wanted to ask, like maybe like, you know, you could be my girlfriend.
Well, Brad, I have to tell you, I'm a man.
I'm going to be talking about the myths that people have about bottom surgery and really open up and be honest about my bottom surgery. For me, I had, full depth vaginoplasty.
So first off, the more accurate term to describe this surgery wouldn't be a vaginoplasty, it would be a penile inversion, because there is no vagina involved in this surgery. The surgery involves taking a penis and inverting it to resemble something sort of tangentially related to what a woman's vagina looks like.
They gave me a...
Now look, not to like, okay, I was going to make an anecdote, and I'll keep going. So, not to horny post on main, but I've seen a post-op vagina, and hey, it doesn't really look any different, mate. And your assertion that it's not a vaginoplasty, well, like, sorry, that's the definition. That's what doctors call it. Oh boy.
as much depth as they could.
The most common vaginoplasty technique is some variation of the penile inversion procedure. In this technique, a vaginal vault is created between the rectum and the urethra in the same location as a biological female, between the pelvic floor, the Kegel muscles, and the vaginal lining is created from penile skin. An orchiectomy is performed, that means castration, aka a removal of the testicles. The prostate is left in place to avoid complications such as incontinence and urethral strictures. Furthermore, the prostate has erogenous sensation and is the anatomic equivalent to the G-spot. More on that myth later.
On the second day, they get you up, they get you moving around, and they start to build up your strength again. They start to get it so that you are able to walk around again.
This is a major surgery. And to electively decide to invert your penis when there's no medical reason to do so, he just admitted that he was bed.
Not true, not true at all. Science shows that transition is beneficial to trans people, and hey, if bottom surgery is part of your transition, that's something that you want to pursue, and all of the medical professionals sign off on it, then yes, it absolutely is beneficial. It's not just elective surgery. So Vanessa, you're not looking good so far.
Bedridden for a week.
You have to dilate to keep open. That is not at all accurate, not at all true. Again, I talked about dilating before. I have vlogs and stuff from way back then where I went into more detail about, you know, the schedule that they had me on. I was running to classes and I had like 45 minutes between classes to dilate, and it was just not enough time.
Here's an example of a dilation schedule that a transgender male to female would be on. From 0 to 3 months, they're using it 3 times per day. I think he said in his video that he got his surgery a couple months before going to college. So that's why he said he was having to dilate in between classes.
The area that you have surgery will never heal, and it's just like an open wound or an open gash.
Some of the immediate risks of getting this type of surgery are bleeding, infection, skin or clitoral necrosis. That means when the skin dies and turns black and falls off. Suture line dehiscence, more on that later. Urinary retention or vaginal prolapse. Fistulas from the rectum, urethra, or bladder usually present early on. A study done on transgender women's vagina found that vaginal discharge and odor in transgender women is unlikely due to common causes in non-transgender women, which is so annoying. Like, we're not non-transgender women, we're biological women, we're normal women, we're real women. Like, why do we need to have a secondary descriptor for the majority?
My goodness, so cringe. The word normal has always been used to justify bigotry. There's no such thing as a normal woman, even by your definition. And also, I just want to say, like, what the fuck? Vanessa Vokey photography? Like, this isn't even like a political channel. What the fuck are you doing out here bullying trans people? Also, no sub count. I like that too.
Majority of the population. Just when talking about men who want to be women, we have to reframe women as non-transgender women. It's absurd. Vaginal discharge and odor in transgender women is unlikely due to common causes in biological women, such as bacterial dysbiosis and candida. That's like yeast infections. In most cases, this discharge is most likely due to sebum, dead skin, or keratin debris, or retained semen or lubricant. Since this...
I don't know why you're making the face, because you literally just laid out why a trans woman's vagina is cleaner than yours. Bit of a self-own there.
Vagina does not contain a mucosa. Routine cleaning or douching with soapy water should be adequate to maintain hygiene. If odor or discharge persists, an examination for lesions or granulations...
Why is she making a face over hygiene? The fuck? Keep clean, people.
Tissue should be performed. Use of a solution of vinegar, 25% iodine in water for 2 to 3 days may help in cases of flora overgrowth or imbalance.
Or that you are giving up any sexual sensation or any sexual function when you decide to have this surgery. Moved a stitch or something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened and I was in excruciating pain. You're not going to be losing any sexual pleasure or any sexual functions at all. Like, I thought, did I make a mistake? Did I like that better? Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I having these thoughts? And the fact of the matter is, it was just easier.
I'm not totally sure what he's talking about here, but I'm going to guess that he means it was easier to orgasm when he could just jerk off instead of trying to figure out how to make his faux inverted penis orgasm. I don't know. It's really hard to wrap my head around this.
Is that it doesn't look real. That, you know, it just, you know, doesn't look real. That's...
Well, it's not real. How could it look real? A vagina isn't an inverted penis. It's by definition not real. Do these trans-identified males...
Not really. If it meets just about every function, then it's real by your word. It has the same utility.
Not realize how absolutely insulting it is to infer that a vagina is just a penis inverted?
Because there's
Well, yours isn't, but some are. Deal with it. Get on with your life.
just so much that goes into it, you know. There's judgment. What if people think that I look weird down there? It sounds so stupid, but like I don't want to be judged for something like that.
This is from the World Health Organization's website. Female genital mutilation
Hey, you don't want to quote the WHO on trans issues, trust me.
involves the partial or total removal of external female genitalia or the female genital organs for non-medical reasons. The practice has no health benefits for girls and women. FGM can cause severe bleeding and problems urinating, later cysts, infections, as well as complications in childbirth and increased risks of newborn deaths. More than 200 million girls and women alive today have been cut in 30...
Okay, like, obviously, this is referring to, like, female circumcision, and obviously that term is used very loosely. Like, genital mutilation is much more accurate to describe the practice. So here's the conflation. Conflating genital mutilation with trans people. Trans people mutilating themselves. No, they're not. It's a medical procedure just as safe as any other one. If a doctor signs off on it, if it's conducted by a surgeon, what business is it of yours to doubt that?
30 countries in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, where FGM is concentrated. FGM is mostly carried out on young girls between infancy and age 15. FGM is a violation of the human rights of girls and women. WHO is opposed to all forms of FGM and is opposed to healthcare providers performing FGM, the medicalization of FGM. Now, on the flip side of that,
All right, here we
we
go.
have labiaplasty rising in popularity in the West. The trending options for rejuvenating vaginal tissue have made the appearance of the genital area a more prominent issue in women's beauty media. In addition, young women can more easily access images of idealized female genitalia online. Experts have blamed porn and an abundance of X-rated images online for women as young as 15 seeking an unachievable look. Between 2015 and 2016, more than 200 girls under the age of 18 had a labiaplasty, of which 150 were under 15.
So the version that I had done allows me to get there to...
Wait, so you got nothing to say about that? Like presumably these were cisgendered women. Are you just going to gloss over that? And gloss over the female genital mutilation? Was that you were just dropping that in there as like, oh, I'm just going to conflate the two and then just not comment on it? What the fuck? I could do your job better than you can.
two different ways, the same ways that, you know, cisgender women would get there. Both of them work great.
How do I phrase this? I can already tell you he doesn't understand that women don't have prostates. Well, let's talk about how women get there,
Oh, fuck.
aka how women experience an orgasm.
Some women do. And you just have to live with that.
Other researchers suggest that the G-spot isn't necessarily an actual physical entity, but instead the place where the sides of the vestibular bulbs of the clitoris make contact with the anterior wall of the vagina. This suggests that a vaginal orgasm may actually still be connected to the clitoris. Each thrust during penetrative vaginal intercourse or contraction of the pelvic muscles can stimulate the clitoris.
Is the belief that once you have bottom surgery, you won't be able to self-lubricate the same way that a cisgender woman would.
Not only are vaginas self-lubricating, they're also self-cleaning. The easiest way to explain cervical fluid is to describe how it feels. The baseline of vaginal wetness is what your body makes on a daily basis to keep the vagina healthy and clean. Typically, this feels like nothing is really going on. There's also the typical amount of vaginal discharge that you experience right after your period. Cervical mucus plays a crucial role in conception by eliminating abnormal sperm and protecting healthy sperm as they travel through the reproductive system to the egg. This type can make much larger wet spots in your underwear that can even soak through. This occurs when you are sexually aroused.
Not to like give too much information out or anything, but I actually can self-lubricate.
Penile inversion vaginoplasty, in and of itself, produces no lubrication. The small glands in the urethra, which secrete pre-ejaculate, are left intact in trans women. It's highly variable how much is secreted, 0 to 5 milliliter, but that can give some...
Is your point that, like, you think Samantha's lying? Well, fuck, she just said that she does, so look. Guess what? Some trans women are going to self-lubricate, and guess what? Some cisgender women aren't. Are they not women? Is this the TERF's, like, caliber for what makes a woman? Like, I'm sorry, like, a woman is a woman who self-lubricates? What the fuck? Ew. Like, that's what you're gonna reduce women down to? Does your vagina get wet when you're aroused? That makes you a woman. The fuck? This is your brain on TERFdom.
Some lubrication on arousal. The makeup of vaginal wetness is not the same as pre-cum, just in case you weren't aware.
Experienced surgeons, you're not going to be losing any type of sensation or any type of ability to orgasm.
A study of sexual desire in transgender women found that 83% never or rarely experience spontaneous sexual desire. The study also found decreases in sexual desire after genital surgery.
It's a lot more difficult to get there, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it sounds so weird to talk about, but it's the truth, and it messed me up. Like, this is the belief that after surgery, everything down there is going to feel extremely fake or extremely foreign to both you and your partner. People don't really talk about it, but when you have this surgery, there's a lot of anxiety that comes afterwards. So yeah, I have these parts now, but now I have these mental blocks in my mind that won't let me use them. You can't get pregnant. You can't. Unless someday, you have a uterus transplant and all that kind of stuff. Maybe you can.
Of course you can't get pregnant. You're a man. You're a male. You don't have the parts, and even if they could stitch the parts into you, your body would reject it.
You're so
I'm sorry. Some men can get pregnant. You just have to deal with it. Samantha Lux is not a man. She's not one of those men that can get pregnant. But yeah, sorry. Some men can get pregnant.
lucky you never get periods. What I would give to get periods, what I would do to be able to, house my own offspring in my body. That sounds so weird, but what I would do to get pregnant, girl. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude, we can tell. We know how jealous you are. It's pretty obvious.
Everything looks totally normal.
Oh. Samantha's the one that's jealous. I see. So you, Vanessa, with your sub count hidden, taking shots at this 400k sub YouTube channel. You're not the one who's jealous, it's Samantha. Right. I see. Okay. Okay.
Everything looks totally real. I've showed boys, I've showed girls. Both of them said that it looks totally natural, totally cisgender, you could say.
If your friend were to get a really bad tattoo and were to come to you and say hey, look guys, isn't this awesome? What are you supposed to say? No.
Yeah, that looks fucking shit. What the fuck? Of course I'd say that.
No, it looks like shit. Go get your money back. That was a mistake. Why did you do that? Of course they're gonna say that it looks great.
Is this your what the fuck? You call this an argument? Oh my god.
It's irreversible.
What if I go to have sex with somebody and it rips open and I bleed out and die? I don't think that's gonna happen, but what if it does?
I've never heard a woman laughing about having her vagina ripped open from sex and bleeding out and dying. Never, ever, ever heard a woman laugh about that. And a lot of stories.
Oh okay, I can barely do anything with these arguments. I'm sorry. Look, Vanessa, you gotta give me something to work with. But you're little I never heard of it happening. Oh, well, guess what? I was down at the pub the other day, and I asked everybody there, and they said they'd all heard of that. They said everyone there said they'd heard of a woman having sex and a vagina ripping open dying. That's your fucking argument.
Stories about women having their hymen ripped when they were having sex, and it's just not a laughing matter for us.
I was experiencing a little bit of dehiscence, which is basically when you are so swollen that the sutures that they put down there to keep everything sewn together start to rip open, and basically you get a hole in your body. It was as bad as it sounds, just to be perfectly real with you guys. You'll regret your sexual reassignment surgery. That transitioning doesn't even help a person, and that the suicide rates are still just as high after surgery as they are before surgery. And when you look at the statistics, it does look that way, but it's not because people are having surgery. It's because of the way that they are treated in society. Yes, I might feel more in my own skin, I might feel more confident, whatever. Just because I'm happy with myself now doesn't mean that the world is happy with me, and it doesn't mean that I feel accepted in this world. It was terrifying. I remember bawling my eyes out saying what did I do? What did I do to myself? I fucked myself up. I'm never gonna heal from this. I don't know, how is this gonna be okay? I'm gonna have a hole in my body for the rest of my life. Starting to cry in the surgeon's office because I was I'm depressed, I'm in school, it's painful, it's a lot. It's a lot to be going through.
I think the problem is that he's crying in his surgeon's office. Surgeons don't care about your mental health. They're not psychologists. They're not therapists. They're like mechanics. And your body is a car.
The percentage of people that regret having sexual reassignment.
Oh. The way TERFs reduce everyone's body just down to its functions is so sick. We're more than just the capacity to reproduce. Like, look, anyone watching who doesn't want to have kids, who's made that decision, you're still just as valid as somebody that does want to have kids. Regardless on whether or not you can have them or not.
Surgery is so minuscule that it's not even like a relevant percentage of people.
How dare he say that it's a minuscule and irrelevant number of people that are detransitioning? Way to gaslight an entire group of people who feel the medical community abused them, lied to them, and speak their truth and try to prevent other children from going down the same path that they went down. And you're just completely dismissing their experiences and saying, oh, there's so few of them, they're irrelevant, they don't even matter.
So now you're concerned about trans people, I see. Well, guess what? The amount of people that do transition is minuscule. And first of all, trans people are a very small minority. Secondly, the amount of people that do detransition is an even smaller fraction of that minority. And the people that do detransition, the majority of them don't detransition because, they regret their transition. They do it because of the stigma that they face from transitioning. So not the transition themselves, but them transitioning, trying to be who they are. The fallout from that they face from society. That's why they detransition. They find that transitioning to be themselves is too hard because of the fallout they receive from transitioning, or they can't afford the transition cost. They detransition because it's just too expensive. People aren't and then from that, the even smaller fractions is people who detransition because they just flat out regret it. So yes, the amount of people who detransition is a minute number, and it's disgusting that you would even think to try and speak for them after what you've said in this video regarding trans people. Get the fuck off their back, you weirdo. Trans people just want to vibe. Trans people just want to grill, for God's sake.
Give me a break. Detrans Canada has yet to launch a concerted recruitment drive and has fewer than a dozen Canadian members. But Ava noted that a Reddit forum for detransitioners, r/detrans, grew from 3,000 to over 16,000 members in just a few months this year.
99.99% of those people are TERFs. Hang on, let me see. Can we see who she follows? No, we can't. Here we are. How many of these people... Oh god, there's a lot of TERFs. Oh boy. Do we have any detrans people? Oh boy. Oh my god, there's a lot of TERFs. Holy fuck. Oh man. I can't imagine this I don't want to imagine this person's Twitter feed. Okay. Oh boy. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Alright. Let's get on with it.
However, all that being said, I do want to make it clear that having bottom surgery is not like a one-stop fix for all of your problems. I feel like I might have treated my transition kind of like that for a long time. I thought in my head that, once I get through my transition, once I get through this next surgery, once I get through this next procedure, then I'll be happy. Then I'll feel complete. Then everything will be good. But that's really not true.
A lot of studies have shown that we don't really reach psychological maturity. We're not able to conceptualize the consequences of certain actions that we make until we get to about 25 years of age. I hope that he is one of the people who doesn't regret his surgeries. I hope he is one of those people that is happy. Not true saying that his inverted penis somehow
Fuck off, you dude. You lying cunt.
Makes him a woman, and using women's faces and pretending that he's a woman and all those other things are not okay.
But I'm still depressed.
but they're gonna happen anyway. Deal with it.
There are still issues that, you know, transition did not address that are still there. But just because I'm still depressed now or I'm still anxious now or whatever, doesn't mean that I regret having surgery.
It's okay for him to be a feminine man. It's okay for him to be a man who wanted his penis inverted. What that doesn't make him is a woman. This goes the same for Blair White.
Yeah, correct. What makes Samantha a woman is that she identifies as one. And that's enough.
And Rose of Dawn and, you know, some of the other popular YouTuber transsexual males. I hope that they're happy with the decisions they've made, but I really wish they'd stop being so delusional and stop, you know, using women's spaces and stop making it seem like they're women just because they have long hair or feel somehow excluded from the definition of masculinity or the definition of manhood. Like, they shouldn't be trying to encroach on what womanhood is. They should be broadening the definition of what manhood is and what it means to be a man.
Right, it's the opposite.
Because
the definition of woman isn't changing, it's not being erased. The definition of woman is being expanded. We don't like your limited definition. I like the definition of anyone who identifies as a woman is one. What an egalitarian worldview. That's what I'm here for.
Because every girl that self-identifies out of being a woman makes the colorfulness and the mosaic of all the different types of women a little bit less bright and a little bit less colorful, and I think that goes for men as well. Every time a super...
What's the logic? No, it's the opposite. The fact that we have so many different people from so many different walks of life who, like just women. If you're just talking about women, not men, not any other gender, the fact that we have such a diversity among women... That's wonderful. I love that. I love individualism. Fucking look at me. I find the idea of trying to box women in to their reproductive function disgusting.
Super flamboyant, effeminate gay boy transitions to a woman. The picture of masculinity and the image of manhood just gets smaller and less bright. Don't dull your shine. You know, stay true to who you are. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Okay, that's nice. Show a bunch of fucking pictures of Samantha pre-transition. God fucking damn it, people. I swear to fucking God. Well, that was horrible. Yeah. This is your brain on TERF.